my friend, my family. First, it's always great to see you. It's always great to talk to you. Usually around this time, we would probably be talking about your big holiday event, but that's going to be later on. We're going to do another interview on that. This is another one where we get to give you praises again and again and again. Another honor. Congratulations on this. How do you feel?
Rudy, I'm just over the moon about it. I got emotional, really totally emotional, because songwriting has always been what I wanted to do. Um, I was lucky enough to actually sing some of those songs, but it's just the idea that it's about songwriting. And I think that if you don't have a song, you're not going into the studio. You're not hiring musicians. You're not doing anything. The song is everything. And so I'm just honored, very honored. If I can say, by the way, um, we've known each other forever.
Yes.
And I think you were the first interview I ever did um, regarding a Christmas show. And it's funny. There are certain vibrations to people's names. Sometimes you say, "Oh," and then sometimes you say, "I spoke to that person a year ago." So thank you. Much love to you. Sorry to interrupt this conversation, but that's
Family's allowed to do that. And it's always love when it comes to you, love and respect. You know what's funny? There are other questions I want to ask you about, but something came up on social media recently, and they were talking about your iconic song, Sugar Sugar. And it's something I never thought about. They said, and correct me if I'm wrong, of course, the Archies were the visual of this song
right.
in singing it. They said it was the first number one song of a group that did not
Ex-
exist. Is that true?
I don't know if all the logistics is correct.
Mhm.
All I know is that um, the song was written in about 12 minutes, 15 minutes. It wasn't um, usually if someone asks you to write a song, you're kind of, well, what's the range? What's this? What's that? And how many people are there? And nothing. This is pure, you're creating something. I personally have always wanted to meet Betty and Veronica, but the other guys I could do without. Um, but seriously, um, I've been reminded many times that in 1969, May 24th, um, Baby I Love You, my version of Baby I Love You, went on the charts for the first time and became, I think, my first top 10 and gold record. May 24th, 1969, same day Sugar Sugar was released, and nobody wanted to play it. They only started playing it in July because it was the year of Woodstock, the Vietnam War, Kent State. The world was shifting away from a song like that, especially for a band like that. Because um, it's funny that I said for a band like that, but I, I'm I'm still in wonder about that song. That traveled the world, became number one, stayed there for 4 weeks, dislodged the Stones from number one. You get Wilson Pickett, Bob Marley, Tina Turner, everybody recording that song. And I think it was Wilson Pickett that gave it legitimacy, and it became record of the year in 1969. That's a big, that's to me is the honor of a song. and everything else that went with it, you know.
But what makes a good song? And when I say that, because your songs have not, they're not just good, they've become iconic. They've been resung. I can go back to Sugar Sugar. I've heard so many recent remixes of that song for clubs and EDM shows and things like that. And everybody knows the lyrics of it, even for folks who don't even know where the song came from, know the lyrics of it. In your view, what makes a good song?
I have no idea. You know, in all honesty, two things. Um, I was asked many times, which I have done, to speak to a younger audience about songwriting. And the room is filled with about maybe 100, people in Toronto. And I'm asked, you know, about songs and stuff. And so I said, um, can anyone here tell me where this lyric comes from? And I said, I just can't believe the loveliness of loving you. I just can't believe it's true. A lot of hands went up. Um, Leonard Cohen. Um, um, and they all had different names of, no one said Dylan, but it was Leonard Cohen. It was artists that have poetry to them. No one said it's the first line of the first verse of Sugar Sugar because nobody knows the verses. All they know is sugar. Ba-da-dum-dum-dum. So, how do you take a bow for that, Rudy? You know, there's, I can't take a bow for it.
Yes, you
I'm
can.
so blessed that it exists, but you know what I'm saying.
I know exactly what you're saying, but it's still like your songs, including Sugar Sugar, are iconic. And it's funny, like I said, I never thought about that. The Archies hit number one and they never existed. I'm always curious. I've never asked you this though, but what was it like for you watching the Archies and your song, but being sung by this group that did not exist? What was it like for you
Um,
watching it and then watching it going to number one?
um, you know, at the beginning,
Mhm.
um, Baby, I Love You was my shelter.
Right.
And I wrote a song that no one wanted to play till July. And then all of a sudden, it's an avalanche. It's an avalanche all over the world. And it becomes number one. And it's just kind of strange. Um, you know, they're doing a movie, a la, Sugar Sugar, but with live people. I don't know how that's going to go, but there is something about it that I just can't explain. I may not be able to explain it, but I'm available to live it, if that makes any sense,
Yeah.
you know? And sometimes these songs just come from you and you say, oh my God. That's why I always had my transistor, my cassette player rather, on all the time. Even for songs that maybe weren't going anywhere, but there was some kind of a melody that I sang or a phrasing So it's all kind of, I don't know, it's magic.
I'm gonna jump in. It's magic, but I'm gonna help you explain a good song. I feel a good song, and again, we'll just use Sugar Sugar as an example. You've had
Sure.
many, many hits. But when you could hear that song as a ballad, as a reggae song, as a heavy metal version of it, as an EDM version of it, when that song can transcend any genre and still be sung and still sound great, to me, that is part of the definition of making a great song. That particular song has done that.
Ike Turner was doing a show many years ago in Toronto, and I think somebody from one of the newspapers or something asked him, "Why sugar, sugar?" And he said two words, "Great song." It's really it's really it's just a wonder. It really is for me. You know me well enough. I don't walk around, you know, hey, I did this, I did that. I'm part of a bigger picture,
Yeah.
and I'm part of the fact that God gave me the opportunity to be brave enough to go to New York City and to hang with Jeff Barry, Ellie Greenwich, Phil Spector, Lieber and Stoller. That I the ninth floor of the Brill building was my home, was where I grew up, was where I got to learn how to conduct my musical life. Um, I, I, I think I'm a dreamer more than anything else, Rudy. And so it's just a wonder, you know?
I know, my friend. I know exactly what you're saying, but I'm curious though. Um, Being such a great songwriter, is it harder to write songs today because of the way the world is reflecting on itself and the energy that it puts out?
It's not harder for me to write a song today.
Mhm.
What's harder is for someone to take it and want to do something with it. Most of the songs I've written, I've been a part of from mixing, producing, um, every step of the way, you know. Um, so the pure breakdown of a song of lyrics and melody, it's the only thing I know how to do. And I've presented some songs that people have asked me, and it really never flourished. Well, because my time was yesterday. People are writing songs differently, and we both choose the word songwriting. I mean, maybe five people are part of a songwriting, or maybe it's the the digital drums that inspire people and you write around your instruments. I'm okay with all of it. I'm okay with everything. But I don't think if I wrote Sugar Sugar today that, you know, Justin Bieber would want to record it or
I hear what
Leonard
you're saying.
Skinner.
No, I hear what you're saying then now because everything is in its time period, and I agree with that. But if there was somebody that you could write a song with and perform with, and I don't care what decade or era it could be, who would it be and why?
Wow. Well, I'd like to write a song with all the inductees because they came from my time.
Mhm.
Um, but I think today I would love to write a song with The Weeknd.
Oh,
I am
you too?
so I
Oh my
am
goodness.
so in like in awe of how he sings, how he talks, how he does his thing. I would even just love to meet him, period, you know, but that would be awesome for me, you know. And I know Drake's around, but they're different. There's a different vibe between them. So, yeah, The Weeknd.
Oh, man, that would be. I just got shivers hearing that. The two of you writing, perform. Oh my goodness, that would be absolutely amazing. I knew we're gonna slowly wrap this, but what advice would you give today's songwriters? Even though everything's different, but I mean, you still have, in my opinion, you still have the magic. What advice would you give today's songwriters?
Well, I would ask them, so why are you a songwriter? Like, and that was how do you define a songwriter? Um, and the only advice I could give them was to lock the door, put your cell phone under your pillow, and pick up an instrument without anyone in the room. And whether or not you feel anything, if you're there long enough, one of God's songwriting angels will drop an idea of which you will either say yes or no to. And I mean, the mechanics of songwriting, we all come from a different place. I I don't know what the word inspiration, I understand the word inspiration, but I don't know where that comes from. I just think that there is a songwriting angel out there that goes, Psst, hey, what about this? And you you go with it or you say, nah, I don't think so. And whenever that knock came, I opened my heart and soul to creating something, you know. I don't know if I'm answering this correctly
You are.
because I don't understand how I got here. I understand that I dreamt my life, but I'm always cognizant of the fact that I'm living my one and only life without a sequel. Not my
Mm.
parents' life, not my brother's life, not anyone else's life. And as soon as you get a hold of that, then you really design your wonderful life because God's going to ask you, hey, how was it? He's not going to say, how were your parents? What did you do with your brothers? What did you do this? And oh, yeah, I remember that was such a problem. How was it?
Yeah,
The journey of life, you know?
yeah, yeah, yeah. I know, I know. I will be at the red carpet. I'm looking forward to seeing
Oh
you.
my
We're gonna
God.
do
Oh,
another interview. Um, I love you. I'm so happy for you. When I saw your name on the list, I was just like, where's he gonna put this award? Like, he's already probably got a room full of awards. Where's he gonna put this one? It's just so deserving. I'm just so, so happy for you for this.
well, you know what I'm happier about was that you have talked to or will talk to all the inductees, and they will understand what your heart is, where it is, and they will have the moment of their lives. So thank you,
I
Mr.
love
Ruth
you.
Blair.
I love you.
I love you too,
Congratulations.
man.
I'll see you on the red carpet.
Okay.